Hey everyone, I'm Bianca. Today I'm going to show you 5 Dollar Tree DIYs for spring. I hope you enjoy and let's get started. Okay, so for the first DIY, I'm using these 3 items from Dollar Tree. I have some shower curtain rings. Yes, very random, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do. And I have 2 picture frames, one 4x6 and one 8x10. And I'm gonna remove everything including the glass. So I got the inspiration for this DIY from the new spring decor line from Michaels. It's not exactly a dupe, but it is an inspiration piece that I thought I could recreate to make it look somewhat like that. I just thought it would be really cool to try to recreate a decor piece like this. I turned the frame around on the back side and it has a little indentation where you set the glass on and it stays. So that's what I'm using to add the shower rings to. So I'm just setting them up how I want them or the way they're gonna fit well, and then I will start hot gluing. So I would suggest, of course, using either super glue, Gorilla Glue, E6000. I'm just using hot glue for video purposes. All right, I have everything hot glued, and now what we're gonna do is paint the whole thing. So yes, I know it looks a little cray-cray, but it's gonna turn out pretty cute. What I'm gonna do is just use my antique parchment to paint the whole thing. And of course, you know, it would be easier to spray paint, but I didn't have any more white spray paint and I did not feel like going to another store. We've been going to Home Depot a lot already as it is, just doing little DIYs around the house, and I just didn't feel like going again for the millionth time. Anyways, so I just decided to use what I have. That's what I do a lot of times. But yes, if you have spray paint and you're gonna do something like this, you can use that and use whatever color you want. I'm gonna go ahead and paint the whole thing with this antique parchment paint from Apple Barrel, and then yeah, let it dry. Once that is completely dry, I'm going to use my antique wax from Waverly and go over that frame. I'm going to use just one of my regular Walmart brushes that I have and go over the frame. And just the frame alone because I want it to look like wood. So every time you paint something like this, like a plastic item, and you want to make it look like wood, the first thing you do is paint it white. Some type of white, because this wasn't white. It was kind of like an off-white, just to give it a good base coat, basically like a primer. And then you can go over it with a brown paint, or like this, in my case, the antique wax. I decided to use this small wooden chalkboard frame from Dollar Tree. I already had it on hand, so I decided it would look a little better than the 4x6 frame, but you could still use that if you decide to make this. All I did was cut out a spring decal from my Cricut and added it to the center of this. And now I will hot glue this on top of the little shower curtain rings. And the last thing I did was add more hot glue on the back in between the rings and the frame just for a more secure hold. Again, you can use a stronger glue than I did. For DIY number 2, I'm going to start off by using these $3 Tree items. I have a sink mat, a dry erase paddle. I was looking for a little cutting board from Dollar Tree, but I couldn't find any, so I just picked this up. And I also have some push pins. I'm going to use about 4 rows of this sink mat on the dry erase board just to make it look like a basket on here. So I'm going to cut that out. My whole world has changed since baby, I got you. I'm going to use some black apple barrel paint in matte to paint this. I have used the sink mat quite a few times in my DIYs, and let me just tell you, I did use spray paint one time and it did not ever fully dry. So now that is why I just decide to paint it all the time, because it does fully dry with this apple barrel paint. I am going to add the push pins inside of the sink mat into the dry erase board. So I have one already in there, and I'm going to show you when I add another one right now. So once I do push it through though, I'm going to take a hammer, and on the back side, since it does stick out a little bit, I don't want to poke myself. I'm just going to hammer that down so it's not sharp. So I just grabbed a cardboard piece, that way I don't push a hole in my table. And all you have to do is add a little elbow grease, just a little bit, and push that through there. Now you can probably tell I didn't add the sink mat fully flat on the dry erase board. That way there's a little bit of space inside so I can add some flowers. Now what I'm going to do is just add a few more of these push pins, and then we will either, you can cut off the excess or you can just fold it around to the back side. Alright, for DIY number 3, I have this Dollar Tree mirror that I'm going to use. I'm going to actually use this to make a candle holder. Now, if you like that brassy copper look that it's giving, you can definitely leave it like this, but I'm going to paint it. I'm going to give it a coat of my Waverly white chalk paint, and this paint, I'm almost at the end of it. It gets really thick at the bottom, so I added a little bit to my plate right here, and I'm just dipping my brush in water and trying to make it a little bit thin, not too much. And yeah, I'm going to go over the whole framed area with the paint. Once I had it all covered with one coat, I decided to add one more light coat just on the top. I'm not fully covering the whole thing with another second coat, just the top area. Basically just the raised part of this outside frame. I'm going to use this Dollar Tree candle holder, and I'm going to add the frame mirror on top of this. So I'm just going to use some hot glue and add it on there. I have a pretty large Dollar Tree vase that I'm going to add on top of that, and also some Dollar Tree candles. Now, if you have a big candle, you can just stick that in there. I didn't have any. I have some of these small ones from Dollar Tree, so I'm just going to add 2 in there just so it doesn't look weird with one small one. DIY number 4 coming up. If you are still here, thank you so much. I am so happy that you are still enjoying my video. So I am using these 2 Dollar Tree items for the next one. This is probably the simplest one today. So I have a sink mat and a burner cover for the stove. This actually comes in a 2-pack, but I just have 1 left because I used the other one for a different DIY. I need to cut this out, so just take something that you can see. I have this chalkboard marker that I'm going to use to trace it, and then I'll cut this out. That way we can add it to the inside of the burner cover. Using the same technique as I did earlier on the frame, I'm going to paint this whole thing white. Once it's dry, I'm going to add some of my antique wax to the top with a more stippled bristled brush, and that way it kind of looks wooden. Alright, so I know y'all heard me say a more stippled brush. That's not what I meant, because this is more of a finer paint brush that I'm using right now, and I don't want that. You see how it goes on like too smooth? So I just grabbed a more of a wild bristled brush, and it comes out looking better and looks like it would be wood grain. I decided to go with this brush instead. I'm going to hot glue this onto the burner cover now. So again, this is something you can get creative with and do different colors. I forgot to mention that I saw something similar to this and I just could not find the picture online to show y'all what gave me the inspiration. But that's why I made this, because I saw something similar. You made it to the 5th and final DIY. Thank you so much. If you love Dollar Tree DIYs, make sure you like and subscribe for more videos. So for this last one, I'm using a Dollar Tree garden fence. I'm going to use some stem cutters, but you can use sharp scissors as well. So first thing I'm going to do is take off the 3 stakes at the bottom. Well, 2, because I'm only going to use half of this fence. Once I do that, I will cut it in half. I have these 3 wooden drawers from Dollar Tree. They are actually drawers. They come with a more smaller wooden box inside of them, but I already took them out. 2 of them are actually recycled. I used them for a different DIY, I think for Valentine's. And then this one that's not yet stained, it's new, so I need to stain it exactly the way the other 2 are. And to do that, I just dip my brush in water and then dip it in the glaze, the antique wax, and then go over the box. Now I'm going to hot glue the 3 wooden boxes together. To add the boxes to the garden fence, I'm going to lay the fence down, add some hot glue on there, and then add the boxes. Now this is going to be sitting on a table. I'm not going to hang it up, so hot glue is okay to use. And I'm adding more hot glue to the back. So I kept the cardboard back area part of the picture frame, and what I'm gonna do is just, recycle something, and I'm gonna cut out a piece and cover the back up with it. It's not really for more of a hold because it's not gonna help. It'll stay together just fine with the hot glue, but I'm actually using this just to give it a more finished look in the back. You can add whatever you want inside of here, any kind of flowers, any type of greenery. I have some greenery. I don't remember where it's from just because I always pick up greenery every time I go to Walmart or Hobby Lobby. And then I'm also going to add some tulips in here. These are from Amazon. They are actually a better deal than buying the single stemmed tulips from Target every year. Target has the tulips for $1, and these came with way more, better quality, longer stems for a cheaper price. My Amazon store is always linked below, and you can check it out there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my DIYs today, and I hope I've given you some ideas for spring. Let me know which one was your favorite, and I will see you in the next video.